Well, good evening, Ann Arbor. How are you? Thank you for taking time to be here this evening. We're going to begin our evening with a moment of silence for a student that we lost today. So will you please join together this evening in a moment of silence to honor Miles Roberts, a Skyline freshman who passed away this morning. Miles loved athletics. He was a member of the Skyline football team. Hockey was his passion, and he loved his time on the ice with his fellow Eagles. He also enjoyed hanging out with his friends. Miles' brother Zach is an 11th grade student at Skyline. He also has two younger brothers, Shane and Keegan, who are in the 5th and 1st grades at Wines Elementary. Let us share a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, well, folks, feel free to come on in, work your way down to the front. Join me, if you would, in honoring that community high school jazz ensemble, Cold Tone Dreamery. Yay. Well, they, as you probably know, are under the direction of Jack Wagner. Is Jack around? I know he was earlier. Do you see Jack anywhere? Oh, he's coming. There's Jack, and there they are, Cold Tone Dreamery. Yay! Now, Jack, while you're there, while you and the guys are there, I just want to go ahead, and you guys are on the list of our greatest hits for 2016-17, so if you'll just hold still for a minute, we'll share that. Is that okay? Sure. All right, because there's probably a few folks in the room that have not yet heard. So you know, recently, Downbeat magazine, that is the jazz magazine, for those of you that may not know, has just awarded Community High School as the #1 jazz ensemble, high school jazz ensemble in the world. Yay. Well, thank you. Previous winners for Downbeat Magazine's prestigious award hail from large cities like New York, Los Angeles, Denver, Seattle, and Miami, and around the globe in Germany, Japan, Austria, Australia, Israel, and Switzerland. And so it is with so much pride that Community High School brings the award home to Ann Arbor. Now, last year, you were either first or second runner-up, is that right? Second runner-up. And so you know how we do it in Ann Arbor, good, better, best. And so now they are truly #1. Thank you. Great job, you guys. All right, so you guys clean up the buffet, come in, settle in, whatever you like to do, and we appreciate you getting us off to a great start this evening.
We're never one to pick up buffets.
Okay, good. That's great. Well, let's just see who's in the room real quickly. We have honored guests among us, and our honored guests for this evening are our 2017 class of 2017 seniors. You may not have noticed because they look so darn grown up tonight, but class of 2017, stand and let us honor you. Well, you are the reason we're here, and this 2017 State of the Schools features the student voice. So throughout the evening, we'll take breaks here and there, and you'll get to hear first-person reports from these very students. No one knows better what the state of Ann Arbor Public Schools is than these guys, right? Okay, help me out, guys. What year were you born? Graduates, what year? 1999. Isn't that just wonderful? Yeah. So we're so excited and started school, I believe, in 2004. And we'll talk more about that in about a week when you line up to graduate. Isn't that exciting? All right. Our Ann Arbor Public Schools Board of Education, we're so delighted to have our board with us this evening. Now, the board and I spend lots of Wednesday nights together. It's not usually this fun. So I know they're delighted that they get to have a little different evening. So just hold your applause and let's get them all up in the air first. President Christine Stead, Vice President Susan Basquette, Trustee Jessica Kelly, Trustee Simone Livefoot, Trustee Pat Manley, Trustee Harmony Mitchell, and Trustee Jeff Gaynor was unable to join us tonight. Give him a big hand. Great job. We appreciate their leadership and their work on all the Wednesday nights, and I'm just delighted they have a Wednesday night with more comfortable chairs and great company. Thank you. We have other honored guests in the room, and they are our parents. Many of our parents are here this evening from the partner organizations that work with us. We're so delighted in Ann Arbor that we have tremendous parent engagement. Parents engage with us all the time, and particularly they engage in our organized groups. Parents, whether you're a member of a parent group or whether you're just here to help us and to engage, or whether you're a parent of one of these marvelous students and you came along for that reason, would you all stand and let us thank you? Parents, very good. Yay. And thanks also to our partners, our business and nonprofit and higher ed partners. And we're particularly grateful this evening that Durham Corporation and Chartwells made this evening possible. So let's give them a big thank you. I'm reminded every day, and on days like today especially so, of the importance of the team. So, building principals and assistant principals, stand and remain standing. There they are, building principals. There they are. Don't sit down, stay up. So stay standing. Joining you now will be all of our teachers and school staffs, everybody from out in the schools. Stand up and join them. There they are. Yay. If you would stay standing, we're not done honoring you. And then adding to them our cabinet and our central team and all of the support folks, technology, and everybody that helped out for tonight. Stand up and join them. There they are, right there. Thank you so much. You may be seated now. I know you've been on your feet a lot today, so have a seat. Well, we will start our highlights. It's like the greatest hits album of 2016-17. Aren't you excited? You can hardly wait, I know. As we were warming up this evening, there was a highlight slide of all the great things that have happened this school year, and so we'll play that more later in the evening. The report and the slideshow will be on our front page of our website so that you can access it there too. There are just really great photos there. So shall we go? Here we go. Very good. Number 1, 4 Ann Arbor high schools earned silver medals in the U.S. News and World Report's 2017 Best High Schools in the Country. Yes. This achievement continues a trend of AAPS high schools meddling in this rigorous national comparative assessment of high school programs. I'm so excited to share that the algorithm is such that it's not just that children achieve well in these schools, it's that all children achieve well in these schools. So it's a really tremendous honor. Pioneer High School placing 8th in Michigan, Skyline High School 15th in Michigan, Huron High School placed 29th, and Community High School 64th in Michigan, and that's out of over 22,000 high schools in the country. Yes. So jump back up. Principals Louder, McElmill, Schwam, and Chizinski, stand and let's pat you on the back. There they are. Well, you may have missed it back in December and then again just a couple of weeks ago, but we're so pleased to share this evening that on the 3-year path to becoming an international baccalaureate set of schools that we received in December full authorization for the diploma program, grades 11 and 12 at Huron High School, and just recently received full authorization for our middle years program, grades 6 through 10 at Scarlett Middle School and Huron High School. And I tell you, we are watching the email and the phone. In fact, I should probably just check it right now because we know that any minute, Mitchell Elementary will receive the primary years program authorization, and that'll be all 3 legs of the stool to offer IB. So congratulations. Yes. Now, any of you that know about IB, you know you don't choose them, they choose you. And so even the media, Andrew and I were working with the media, had trouble with the headline because they wanted to say, we chose, and we kept emailing them and saying, no, that's not how it works with IB. They decide if you're good enough. And so we're so proud, and I want to just point out all of these folks and all of our teachers also. I know we brought teachers this evening from these schools, but principals Carr, Hilton, Vasquez, Schwam, and all of our IB team. I know Eric Nguyen, Wendy Rothman, who else is here? Jump up and let's say hi and congratulate you. Who else? There they are. Yay. Wait, guys. Yay. That doesn't look like many people. It's because 3 folks are standing on this wall back here. They're in that honor, so don't let them slide by. Yeah, thank you, Linda. That's great. And just last Friday, we were over at Clegg Middle School, and I don't know if all of you have heard about this one yet on our Greatest Hits album, but Schools to Watch is an initiative launched by the National Forum to Accelerate Middle Grades Reform. It was launched back in 1999. Through the Schools to Watch initiative, the National Forum identifies schools across the United States that are well on their way to meeting the forum's criteria for high performance. Forum members believe that 3 things are true of high-performing middle schools, and that is that they are academically excellent, that these schools challenge all students to use their minds well, they are developmentally responsive, particularly for that special age between 10 and 14 years. They are socially equitable. These schools are democratic and fair. They provide every student with high-quality teachers, resources, and supports, and that the school has effective organizational structures whereby all of these things are true for students. So we are so honored to share that the representative from National Middle Schools to Watch was at Clegg Middle School last Friday morning, and there's the banner. Congratulations to Principal Che Carter, to Ms. Dadow, to all of our Clegg teachers, staff, students, and community. Jump up and let's congratulate those guys. Yeah. Many of you folks are middle school folks like I am, and when middle school is done right, it is magical. It is the magic in the middle, isn't it? And I always say with middle school, there are really two options, misery or magic. And we're so delighted that our 5 middle schools are finding the magic in the middle. And congrats to Clegg for this national honor. Now they're going to Washington, D.C., where they will actually pick up the award. And they'll be visiting with our legislators there to remind them of how important public schools are. And I'm so delighted. Yes. I was so delighted that Mr. Carter included that in his talk on Friday with the students and just received resounding applause from the kids. They believe in quality public ed also. Isn't that great? Yeah. Well, you probably did read about this one. Ann Arbor's on another top 10 list. We're in that position we like best, number 1. And that is that Ann Arbor was named the best city by niche.com, a website that evaluates and ranks cities, their neighborhoods, and their school systems. They have voted Ann Arbor as the number 1 best city in which to live in the United States. The city was awarded perfect A-plus scores for its public schools and for being a great place for families. All 3 of Ann Arbor's public high schools, Huron, Pioneer, and Skyline, were awarded A-plus grades. Education is where Ann Arbor stands out from the rest. Who knows that better than we do? Home to the University of Michigan, 42% of Ann Arbor residents have a master's degree or higher. The national average is 11%. And your timing is impeccable. Dr. Moji, Dean of the School of Education at U of M. Let's just give her a warm welcome this evening. Yay. She's such a wonderful partner to us and serves on the Blue Ribbon Advisory and is just a tremendous partner in training up teachers for us. Thank you for that work. You may have heard about this event, and we're excited to have a team here this evening. I want you to see them firsthand. So you probably heard about this in the news, but on August 18th, about 6 o'clock in the evening, thank heaven for a choir teacher who needed to walk his dog that evening. And he walked his dog by Allen Elementary and happened to notice that lots of water was coming out of the front of the building. If that teacher had not been walking his dog, we could have had even more serious damage to that building. So that was on August 18th, just 12 business days before the opening of school. When we got over to Allen that evening, I tell folks that the tile floor was about 3 feet off the ground. They wouldn't let us inside the building, but we could peek through the front door. How many of you know when the floor is 3 feet off the ground, you have a problem, yes? We knew Houston, we had a problem right away that evening. And that was a long night involving the searching for a lost class turtle that had been rescued out of the building, but then decided to take off once we had him in the parking lot. So, I remember that I said to Principal Beal and Miss Linden at one point, "Oh, I'll just buy a new turtle, and we'll never speak of this." At which point they said, "No, this turtle's special. We need to find him." And thankfully we did locate him, and that was day 1 of many hard days. Challenging days for the Allen team. I want to thank everyone in this room and all of our community that rallied to support the Allen community. They successfully moved and opened on time 12 days later, looking right here on the first day of school. Now, Allen, you may know, traditionally sets a school-wide theme every year. They had already set their theme and, in fact, already had their bulletin board up in the hallway. It was a beautiful bulletin board, and guess what their theme was? Choose your own adventure. So I teased the team that they didn't choose their adventure chose them. And so just 12 days later, they opened right on time at West Middle school, I want to have a shout out to Dr. Menzel, superintendent. In fact, let's just say thank you to Dr. Menzel right there. Yeah. He was my second call after the board and had us a building pretty quickly, and we were so delighted to have the students there. I say to folks, one of the hardest questions I've ever been asked as a superintendent was a little 5-year-old that said on open house night, "But where's the playground?" And that was the hardest question I've ever been asked, and I didn't have a good answer for it. But we got busy, and they ended up with a gaga pit and some other stuff, even though we couldn't build them a playground. But 8 months later, we opened them back again, and looky there at the before and after. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. So thanks to Ms. Hine and our facilities team, all of our team that worked on this project, they successfully returned home to Allen, reopening the building on April 12th. There are the students. Welcome back, Eagles. There they are. And so the 5-year-old has her playground now fully. Congratulations, and I just want a special honor this evening to Principal Carrie Beal, to our teachers from Allen who are all here with, not all, but many are here this evening. Stand and let's give them a big gratitude. Miss Kit Flynn, we brought her off the bench to help out, and because they were essentially principaling 2 situations at one time, and so thank you for all of your work and congratulations. And I'm sorry we didn't get that picture in where you guys have all your swimming gestures going, and I'm going to keep that picture. It'll be one that I'll always cherish of you guys having such a great attitude about it. So congratulations, Alan. Will you join me in welcoming Mr. Hamza Bakush from Pioneer High School? Hamza. Hamza's one of 3 students that will share their personal narratives this evening. How many of you, like I, know the power of story? And so when we think about reporting our annual data, you know, I can bore you with lots of slides. That was what we do on usual Wednesday evenings. And yet some of us are just geeky enough that it's not boring. We love that data. And yet I couldn't figure out any more powerful way to share our metrics than to share members of the class of 2017. So you have your own personal member of the class of 2017 at your table, and we also have 3 powerful stories that we'll share this evening. So here is Hamza.
As Dr. Swift said, my name is Hamza Bakush. With me today representing Pioneer are seniors Tyler Baker, Caroline Taub, Will Brinkerhoff, and Beatriz Esquivel. I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming today and to the district for having us. 4 years ago, I first walked through the doors of Pioneer High School. To say my transition was tumultuous would be an understatement. It was my first time in public school. I had to start fresh and make friends. I knew nobody. And I wasn't very good at that because I never had to. I was a small fish in a sea of students who flooded the halls 7 times a day. Making friends was lots of trial and error, with the majority of that being error, and I sure made a fool of myself several times along the way. I struggled both academically and emotionally when I started there. On top of that, I was oblivious to many of the resources that Pioneer had accessible to me. I didn't know what to do, who I could talk to, or where to look for help. As my last week of Pioneer High School now wraps up, I picture myself in Pioneer, the one that I know today. It's a different Pioneer. Over the last 4 years, I've witnessed Pioneer change in a manner such that the freshman me would have had a much different experience, as happy as I am with where I stand today. He'd show up to orientation in August and instantly have dozens of friends from his Link Crew orientation group. He'd recognize his Link Crew leaders in the hallways and he'd high-five them as he walks between classes. His first day, he listened to the morning announcements and realized that there's a Pioneer Study Center available to him every day during 7th hour to go get academic help. A few weeks into school, the peer-to-peer mental health awareness group would come to his class and give a presentation and tell him that it's okay to ask for help and tell him where he could get it. While I'm more than happy with where I stand today, freshman me would have had a much better transition going into Pioneer High School. Pioneer's grown beyond that, however. The computer science program, little more than a couple dozen students when I first came here as a freshman, is now brimming with 6 overflowing classes and will continue to expand as the years come. We now have a full-blown engineering program which will now be expanding to 3-year curriculum next year. Every facet of our school is involved in the community. Since the fall, Student Council organized a winter coat drive, Interact Club had a canned food drive, our health sciences class, which Tyler and I are both a part of, we worked in conjunction with the Veterans Administration Hospital to raise money and awareness for homeless veterans, and Harmony Works, a nonprofit organization run outside of school entirely by Pioneer students, collected thousands of toiletries for Syrian refugees here and throughout Washtenaw County. Our football team and its new leadership has spent countless hours volunteering at events like the Burns Park Run, the Bryant Pattengill Ice Cream Social, and Pioneer Cleanup Day, and regularly spend time reading at all of the various elementary schools in the APS district. Everyone else is thriving at Pioneer too. This year alone, Pioneer won state championships in women's field hockey, men's wrestling, and had record-breaking seasons in men's and women's track and field, in addition to several other near-championship performances. Pioneer's Chess Club won states, and their coding team medaled in a number of statewide coding competitions. And our home building program placed second in a national home building contest. Pioneer Symphony Orchestra was named Best High School in America at a national competition in New Orleans that they went to by invitation. And all of Pioneer's bands, orchestras, and choirs made it to the Midwestern Music Clinic, one of the most prestigious in the world. As I stand here right now, I have 2 hours left of high school tomorrow morning. Even then, administration is milking every ounce of work that they can out of me. Of course, it's all for good purpose. Every senior at Pioneer and throughout Washtenaw County is taking a very lengthy exit survey, I can tell you from experience, and it's used to ensure that every student has the best possible academic experience at AAPS. When I leave Pioneer tomorrow, it'll be a bittersweet taste. Pioneer has been very good to me, but we all know that we all have big things ahead. Caroline and I will be attending Michigan in the fall. Will is going to be attending the University of California, Berkeley. Tyler is going to North Carolina A&T University, and Beatrice is going to be attending St. Mary's of Notre Dame. That being said, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I try to keep my eyes on the present. This year's definitely been one to remember. The last 4 have gone by in the blink of an eye, each year better than the last, and while I've had my ups and downs, I'm happy with where I stand today. I couldn't have gotten here with every ounce of support from every peer, counselor, teacher, coach, mentor, administrator, and more. The last 4 years, I've seen myself grow, and more importantly, I've seen Pioneer grow with me. I know it'll continue to be a tremendous home for countless students in the future, and I hope it treats everyone just as well as it treated me. I must confess, as a man who always has a plan, I don't know where my future will take me, and that's one of the more terrifying things I've faced in my life. But no matter where I go, I know that I will thrive. I know that I'll succeed, and I know that I'll be the best Hamza that I can be. I know that because that's what Pioneer prepared me to be. Thank you.
Now, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? Throughout the year, Wednesday after Wednesday, we share annual reports of our data. So I just want to share this evening that what you're seeing is kind of a summary version. And for those geeks among you that would like to dive into any of the individual reports, they're posted on our website. And you can just spend hours in those reports. It's lots of fun. But we're just summarizing, and you're getting kind of the top layer this evening. The purpose of the evening, though, is to go beyond the reports and synthesize across. Because we know that the narrative of the organization is told in our data. It's told in our real human data. You have that in front of you this evening. It's also told in our numbers, and we read both of those as regularly as we can. Who do we serve in the Ann Arbor Public Schools? Well, we heard loud and clear, if you want to back up one there. Yeah, we heard loud and clear from the community the preference for the neighborhood school. And how many of you had your children or you've been a part of the neighborhood elementary school? You've been a part of that. Yes, good. Take that hand, pat yourself on the back. There we go. So we have 32 great campuses and locations. We have a virtual academy. People say, where is that? I say, it's virtual. It's everywhere. But it does have outlets in our high school. Our city covers our district covers 125 square miles. And our schools serve the entire city of Ann Arbor and the 8 surrounding townships. We heard loudly from our community on the Listen and Learn is that the neighborhood school is what Ann Arbor chooses. And we don't want to go the big box route that other districts have gone. So this is our picture, and it is by design. Secondly, we know that, and if you want to back up to that map, that is a great map. And if you want to see a close-up of that, just go on our website. But it shows how our schools configure around the city and the townships, how they nestle along the Huron River. It really is a beautiful piece that was done by Pioneer grad Mary, help me say, Thiefels, who does the murals downtown. How many of you have seen the beautiful murals downtown? Well, she's done this, and we're going to have her do more of them as we begin to explore really the themes in Ann Arbor Public Schools. We serve this year right at 17,448 students. You might not realize it, but 1 in 4 of our students comes from a home impacted by poverty. 1 in 10 of our students comes from a home where English is not the first language spoken. 1 in 10 of our students comes with an IEP requiring attendance to special needs. Approximately 15% of our students are African American, about the same percentage are Asian, about 2% are Hispanic, and about 12% are multi-ethnic, and about 50-something small percent are Caucasian. Our students speak 71 languages, and they hail from countries around the globe. Ann Arbor is an international city. And so our students have that experience, that diverse experience, diverse along many lenses, along many lines. So we're going to chat for just a minute about the programs that we've been working on over previous 4 years. And these are the things that our community said that they wanted. The first area is early childhood learning. We have folks here from Rec and Ed, from the preschool, from early on. Marge, Miss Bacalor, will you guys stand? And we just want to recognize our early on and Rec and Ed folk. Stand up, there we go. Yay. I always brag on Rec and Ed that they serve from birth to forever, and they really do. And so we've been working on early childhood for the previous 4 years. Our Young Fives expansion, don't tell the governor, please don't report it in the paper, but we added a grade at Young Fives. How many of you are aware of this? Isn't it great? Yeah. And for so many of our students, that gift of an extra year to develop confidence, an extra year to get ready on some skills maybe, an extra year in what I notice in those classrooms is the leadership. And I don't mean to stereotype, but a lot of times it's the little girls kind of organizing the groups in those Young Fives classrooms. Yes, they are. Now, hopefully, the little boys come along, but at any rate, over 4 years, look at how this program has grown. 30 students in 2013 at 2 locations. In the fall of 2017, Ms. Linden shared with me today, the classrooms are almost completely full. Now, they're small classrooms, 16 students or so, but in the fall, we will have 300 students in 15 locations around the city for Young Fives. Isn't that exciting? Yes. So you probably remember that we have 21 elementary schools. So I'm leaning hard for 100%, Miss Linden, yes? Yes, we'll be there soon. So we're really proud of the work. Here is a Young Fives classroom. If you have not been in a Young Fives classroom, you just haven't lived. I just have to tell you this. These are some of the many magical Young Fives classrooms. The fireplace in the middle, I'm proud to say, is not a working fireplace. But the ferry door on the right is a working ferry door, and that just speaks to the magic of Young Fives. So we're very excited about that program and our wonderful preschool as well. And that has been named, I bet you know, the Scott Westerman Preschool, and we're very excited at the progress that they're making. Hundreds of students serve there. Now here they are the class of 2030. There they are on the first day of school last fall. Aren't they beautiful? Now see, you can see that little girl right in the middle. She's got them organized. I promise I'm not being stereotypical, just a researcher observing, just observing what I see. Second path we've been working on is called Steaming Up across Ann Arbor. This is one of the main themes that our community asked for. We've done it in two main pathways. One is by implementing Project Lead the Way. It is hands-on learning. To folks across the country call it STEM. We would never dream of using that term in Ann Arbor because the A is so important. It stands for arts, exactly. So we call it STEAM education. We are so excited that through activity, project, and problem-based learning, Project Lead the Way gives kindergarten through 12th graders that hands-on experience. Now, this is a national program. I'm proud to say that Ann Arbor Public Schools, first district in Michigan to offer it kinder through 12th. I want you to help me acknowledge this evening Miss Marilyn Colligan, Mr. Tom Pachera, and you brought some Project Lead the Way teachers along with you guys. Will you all stand and be acknowledged by the group this evening? We're pleased to share that we now have 4 or 5 guys, master Project Lead the Way teachers, 5 in the district. There aren't very many in the country, and we have 5. As Harbaugh says, who has it better than us? You know the answer, don't you? Nobody. That's right. All right, second level of kind of Project Lead the Way, you can see the classrooms there and that furniture purchased with the 2015 bond. You've got a brochure on your table to remind you that bond was passed at no additional levy to the taxpayer. Can you say amen? Amen. No additional levy to the taxpayer, but we raised $34 million, and part of it went into all of those Project Lead the Way labs, every middle school, every high school, and these are amazing places to learn. They get the robots out, they do the Legos, you name it, they do it. They launch rockets. And sometimes they just accomplish amazing things that I said to a kid one time, what's your favorite thing about that? And he said, we light things on fire in there. And I said, I don't want to know any more about that. But it is hands-on learning, and the children love it. We're also really proud that A2 STEAM at Northside is a school designed from the very ground up with project-based learning in mind. Ms. Joan Fitzgibbon could not be with us this evening, but sends her regards. We're so excited about the transformation of the Northside campus. That's their Project Lead the Way room. Don't worry, we didn't put that wood floor in. It was the old gym. So it came with a really great floor. Isn't that cool? And so we're so excited about this transformation. 8th grade is finishing the first year. So this program, as of now, is fully implemented. Kinder through 8th. School was 175 students before, and they are now over 600 students. Yes, great job. Parents call me almost on a weekly basis looking for housing in that attendance area because there really are very few or no seats available beyond the attendance area. So I was at Rotary last week and challenged them to build some more in that attendance area so that folks can continue to go to STEAM. So great job there. Secondly, pathways to Success Academic Campus. We were so delighted to bring together two schools into the Pathways campus. They feature a partnership with Zingerman's, which is a paid internship that their students are able to participate in. They still have their Roz clinic and their nursery for the babies there on site. Their graduation rate is up. They have one-to-one technology and Project Lead the Way. I was over there just recently and saw their Project Lead the Way projects. They're amazing. Students are able to dual enroll at Washtenaw Community College, and we're offering there now morning, afternoon, and evening. We also serve 3 meals a day for students there in that building. Mr. Tyrone Weeks, you're here. Let's honor Pathways. Thank you. Now, hold on a minute. There are other Pathways folks. Jump up, Mr. Zolman, and all the rest of you that are here. There we go. We get that right. Thank you. If you're here and I call a school, you're all up, okay? And that's how it works. We're so excited with the news with International Baccalaureate. We already previewed that for you as well. Primary years, diploma years, and middle years in the middle. The IB program emphasizes inquiry learning, global awareness, action and service, world languages. Students get language from kinder all the way to 12th. And it's all about access and equity. As an early indicator of the success of this program, we've built a wing onto Mitchell, and Mitchell is still overflowing. I don't think we could squeeze one more in there unless it was a little one. And we have a modular and another wing coming. And that will take you to what, Mr. Carr?
550.
550. Isn't that great? Yeah. Huron is welcoming one of their largest freshman classes, and they, at this moment, Eric, what's the latest number entering DP this fall? 140 into DP, and that will put us among the largest of programs, won't it? Yes, congratulations. We're so proud of our world language in Ann Arbor Public Schools. This is a new slide. Don't you love it? And so we offer 7 world languages. We believe in having our children be global citizens. So we want them proficient in 1 or more languages, 2 or more languages. We assume the proficiency in English, although, we work on that as well. In 5 through the AP level. We're very excited that we're now in the 3rd year of those additional languages, Arabic, American Sign, and also Chinese, moving then up through, and you can see what schools they're offered at. Miss Marcy Harris leads, along with Miss Leanne Dickinson Kelly, the world language, so thank you for that tremendous work. Yes. Okay, in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, we're so proud of our international education. You probably don't even realize it because these children just go to class and they do their work and they're amazing children, but we host 61 students this year from 18 countries around the world. They spend a year with us. You can see all of the countries represented there. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, so really an international education, and we're continuing to grow that program under Miss Jenna Baccalaureate in our International Education Division. Next step in that area is we'll be sending groups to exchange overseas, and that would be over summer breaks, over winter breaks, and making sure that they're there. And we're really excited for both of these divisions to work together and for them to go to work on their language for half a day or a full day while they're there and do their sightseeing. So it's a great cultural, international immersion experience. It doesn't go without saying, is you know that we have the arts advantage. Now in 2015, our Board of Education was honored with the one national award for protecting and honoring and cultivating the arts. Did you know that? Yes, that was in 2015. All of our students receive arts. I'm so proud. If you've looked at your brochure about the bond, you will notice on the left-hand side all that's already done with that $34 million. Down the middle, what's still in progress, and will be done by fall. And then on the right-hand side, what's still coming. You'll notice down the middle is over 5,000 additional instruments into the hands of students this fall. Miss Robin Bailey, where are you? Let's give her a big hand because she can figure all that out. There we go. She is here. So we're reminded every day of that. So I so wanted, when I heard about Miss Donna Jones about 2 weeks ago, I was so hoping that she would be able to join us this evening. I promise you, you will be touched by her story. Miss Donna Jones, the Skyline Eagle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donna Jones, as she said. Okay. It's an odd feeling when your life changes in an instant. When I was younger, everyone told me life was easy as pie. But I came to realize that life is more like what you make it. I was out of my comfort zone when I got to Michigan. I ended up living with my father. My father and I had our differences. That resulted in me running away from home because of domestic violence and looking to Skyline for help with a place to stay. All my personal belongings were left in my father's house, so I had no clothes, shoes, or personal items. I had nothing. It took 3 weeks with police escort before I was able to get my things. At one point, I felt hopeless. My boyfriend's mom took me to the hospital to make sure I didn't have any lasting damage from domestic violence. They also took me to the police station, and I gave my statement and took my father to court. After I took my father to court, I stayed with my auntie and uncle, but staying with them wasn't secure. Miss Britton, Miss Malone, and Miss Jackson helped me to find temporary shelter. I ended up at the Delana Center. I got a call from my auntie saying she was coming to get me because the Delana Center wasn't safe as they say. I stayed with my auntie and uncle and worked with the school to find stable long-term housing because unfortunately, my auntie and uncle were not financially able to take me on long-term. Finally, I made a case management meeting with Ozone. I felt like that wouldn't work either, but I sat down and I told them what happened and how I got there. After 3 weeks, Ozone called me and told me I officially had a long-term place to stay. During my stay at Miller, I got physically hurt by one of my roommates, and I felt like I should no longer live there. I decided that I would deal with living in the same room with that roommate, but things got worse, and she was made to leave. During all this domestic violence and homelessness, I maintained an above and 3.0 GPA with the help from Miss Britton, Miss Jackson, and Miss Holler. I was able to adjust my FAFSA. I almost missed the deadline to apply for student aid because of my homeless situation and inability to get my personal belongings, including my birth certificate, without police escort. I made the deadline. I got accepted to Wayne State and Hampton University. I secured a full-time job. I opened my own bank account and began managing my own finances. I was on Skyline's track team and received a track scholarship at Wayne State, and currently making a decision on which scholarship to accept, which they both will give me a full ride to scholarship, which is ROTC. The ROTC. Despite my obstacles, I enjoyed my senior year. I enjoyed being able to go to prom with the love of my life. I enjoyed the African American history show my class put on for Skyline, and I enjoyed having my art displayed for the whole school. Even though everything wasn't the best, I had so much fun, love, and support from the very school that I underestimated. I never knew the extent of the help that a school could give me. In the past, I did not look to a school for help. My primary focus was to graduate. Now I see school is way more important than just passing tests to move on to college. It is the starting point of living as an adult, figuring out who one is, and making connection with those who work and attend that school. Skyline has become a family to me. Ms. Britton and Ms. Jackson checked on me daily. The day I came to them battered and bruised with nothing but clothes on my back, they not only reached out to Miss Malone for a place to stay that night, they made sure I had everything I could possibly need. Miss Jackson and Miss Malone made sure all my health and personal care needs were taken care of, as well as any school supplies. They didn't want me to worry about anything. Miss Jackson was even giving me clothes and money from Skyline families and staff wanting to help the school homeless population. Miss Stange made sure my phone bill was paid for so I would have a way to communicate with people. She even took me out to dinner one time. Ms. Jackson wanted to start a food pantry for students like me who were in sports and had no money for food in the evenings. Skyline teachers Ms. Giltner and Ms. Bezu worked really hard to help her create the Skyline's food pantry. Ms. Giltner and Ms. Bezu worked together and made food donations a part of our Sky Time. Every student had an opportunity to contribute to the food pantry without knowing whom they were helping. When prom came around, I didn't have money to attend. Ms. Britton made sure my ticket was paid free. Ms. Jackson got donations from several teachers and Skyline families so I could look beautiful that night. Prom was only 2 weeks after I was physically assaulted in the Miller house. Mr. McAmill, Ms. Britton, and Ms. Elmore hugged me and helped me feel confident that night so prom could feel special. Tonight, I was so nervous about what I should wear. I don't have much. I'm grateful that Miss Britton and Miss Wade gave me the money I needed for clothes tonight. Even when I go to Wayne State, Skyline has taught about my needs. Science teacher Dr. Finnan and his wife are donating furniture for my very first dorm room. I'm so thankful for Skyline and everything that it's given me. On Sunday, we lost Miles Roberts to suicide. It's been very difficult for everyone at our school. The one thing that I am taking away from the experience at Skyline is good things can come out in a horrible situation. My 6-year-old nephew was sick, needing a liver transplant, and has been on the donor list for a very long time. Sunday, he received Miles' liver. That is why I say that Skyline has taught me that good things can come about in a horrible situation. Thank you, everyone.
Now, isn't she amazing? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Miss Jones, May 12th, Monday night, May 12th. She, along with all the rest of our Skyline Eagles, where are you, Skyline Eagles? They will walk across the stage on Monday night, May 12th. Yeah, that's great. Well, what I have to share doesn't mean very much after that, but we'll just talk a minute about student achievement. We have been working on student achievement. As you know, it is our critical mission. We really have been focused on reducing our number of out-of-school suspensions. And overall, I am so proud of our progress, our high schools and our middle schools. This data, you don't see data like this in the country. These reductions are profound. There it is at high school. We still are struggling with disparity, and we will continue to focus like a laser on areas of need: African American, special needs students, students from poverty. Those are the three areas in this data that still need our attention. I want you to look at the middle school data. You can see reduced by more than half over the previous 6 years. And then secondly, again, there is still disparity there, and yet we are seeing the trends go in the right direction. We have behavior interventionists and administrators and teachers who are really supporting students so that they have ways to be successful. And I just want to thank you for the work you've done to see this progress. Yes, yes. You know, our focus is not on not suspending. Our focus is on developing skills and competencies and methods to deal with stress in the classroom and to make sure that we have ways to support children throughout all their days. Yes? Yes. So that's how we're going about it. Secondly, SAT, you know, we made this transition this past year. It's a transition year from ACT to SAT. No, the legislators did not ask us before they had that vote, but they kind of surprised us one day with that exciting vote. So seniors, you all took the ACT, right? Yeah, so I brought that data because I knew it would represent you. There you are, right there. And you can see that Ann Arbor Public Schools is doing well, and yet we are focused like a laser on those four key and critical areas where we still see disparity in achievement. We have work to do. We don't shy away from that work. We're attacking it every day. There we are on ACT achievement, which represents these students at your table here. Graduation rates, this is the data. It's the final piece of data. Is how well do we graduate students? We are holding at 88.9, We've seen a 5% increase over 6 years. These are the same years when we shifted to Michigan merit. So the hill is a higher one to climb, and yet our students are making progress. As you can see, we draw a line there so we can keep an eye on where our disparities exist. We are really focused in, if you'll go one more, on that idea, on that those areas where we see disparity: African American, Latino, Hispanic, two or more races, special needs, and then especially a laser-like focus on economically disadvantaged. You know that those groups all overlap. So students impact there, and we know we have work to do, and we're focused on it. Last piece, and there's our Michigan merit transition that we made in 2011. Very good. Okay. We're going to skip over this section and just suffice it to say that we have second to none technology. Miss Marilyn Colligan oversees that. And we are so proud in Ann Arbor Public Schools that our technology serves teaching and learning. Here, you don't hear us with the bumper sticker saying everyone has a computer. That's not the important thing to us. The important thing is, does technology serve teaching and learning? We're going to take a quick look at fund equity and at our by the numbers. I want to just thank our CFO, Ms. Jill Menick, who's in the room, for her leadership in this area. Give her a big hand, if you will. Yeah. Now I'll share with you why that hand is so deserved, and it's everybody's work. And Ms. Minnick keeps our eye on the numbers. Increasing enrollment, we're just under 1,000 students added over 3 years in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. That's not happening across the state of Michigan, and it's because of this great team in this room and beyond this room. A second piece, our foundation grant trend, as you can see, we're still hoping to surpass where we were back in 2003-04. So as you know, those of you from business, that's not a winning business model. And yet we're doing the best that we can with our reality. There it is in today's dollars. And keep going one more. And here we are with fund balance. You can see that we're back at a fund balance of 9.3% projected for the end of this year, and that's up from just under 5% 4 years ago. So good progress. And then I want to thank you all who voted and supported our Ann Arbor Public Schools on May 2nd, $200 million to update our infrastructure in our average 60-year-old buildings. So thank you, Ann Arbor. Please join me in welcoming our third student story. Aren't you enjoying the powerful student stories this evening? Please join, yes, they're awesome. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Tariq Carr from Pathways to Success. And of course, Tariq, I bet everybody asked you for the story about your crutches. You don't have to tell us if you don't want to. It's okay. Let's welcome Tariq. Here he is.
Hi, I'm obviously on these crutches. Basically, I had a basketball injury and I tore some stuff in my knee. Hi, my name is Tariq Carr. I'm coming here this evening from Pathways High School, and I originally came from Huron High School. I went there for 3 years, and I didn't really do too well at Huron. It wasn't that I couldn't learn the material. It wasn't that. It was just a little harder, just because I would always fool around in class and talk and just skip sometimes, And when I reached senior year, I realized that I wasn't on track to graduate, so I transferred to Pathways, and I really liked Pathways because of the programs and how fast you could catch up. It was really looking tight for me to graduate, and I transferred there, and they sent me up from first hour to 7th hour, and then night school has 6 classes online, and I had to go through all that to graduate. And I really liked what I liked about Pathways was the programs that they had. They had the programs I went into was the Strive program, the Rotary Club, if that's familiar. And they gave me a scholarship for what I did this year. And I'm gonna be going to WCC next year. And another outside activity I joined to was the basketball team, and I don't know if I don't see Copeland yet, but I seen him earlier. He was my coach, and we won states this year. Oh, wow. just like to say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tariq. Beautiful. We're going to wrap up. There's more to this report. It will all be online. Will you join me in thanking our class of 2017? Stand up, guys. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Yeah, there they are. There they are. So you know, team, if you don't have to get lonely this next 12 nights, because there's a celebration every night in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, and we'll start on Monday evening with Pathways. We'll lead us off. We'll go through the entire week and finish with the grand finale at Skyline on May 12th. So just make sure you wear the right color, you know, purple, blue, or green, or gold, or something. And join us on any of those nights. We decided for this year that our theme would be a simple one word, and it was a word that we made up on our own. Don't you love those words? And so flip over there and show them that word, Miss Osinski. There it is, A together. Don't you love that word? A together. Will you say it with me? A together. Just makes you feel good to say it, doesn't it? Well, I'm supposed to hit on challenges and opportunities, and I need to do that because I'm the superintendent and people expect me to do things like that, you know? Our challenges and opportunities come from inside and outside. From inside, we are dealing, as you know, and suffering, and you could hear it in the children's voices. Our hearts swell to think of 7 students who will not finish the year this year. And we know that we must put our arms around all our children. And how many of you know how important that is? Not just in times of loss, it's important on every day for every child. So we know that our challenges are from within and from without. Number 1 on our list is ensuring equity and excellence for all children, ALL. And as we think about student and family needs, we know that we want to ensure the physical, the mental health, the addiction support, the challenges that they have to overcome, the poverty. We know that school is a microcosm of the macrocosm, isn't it? So we're not surprised when challenges appear in our school. And this team that's with you tonight and all their partners back at school, they don't shy away from challenges. They run at the challenges and support students all the way through. We know that we're working on early literacy. We know that our vision is that all we want for our own children will be what we achieve for all children. How many of you will join me in that? Yes. What we want for our children, yes, is what we will achieve for all our children in Ann Arbor, and ensuring access and opportunity for all. And that regardless of your zip code, your gender, your socioeconomic status, or the position of your parents, that you will have opportunity to achieve, and we will support you for that achievement. We know that some challenges come from without. You've read in the news that some of our children face losing their parents through immigration and deportation challenges, that there is a national rhetoric that would marginalize some of our children. We won't have that in Ann Arbor because all are welcome here. We know that there are fiscal concerns. It's been so long, more than a decade now, that we're kind of accustomed to that. Have you noticed? We're kind of accustomed. When it comes to budget time, you guys look at me and say, okay, how bad is it? And we're accustomed to that. And yet this year, we have an added layer at the national level where we're really alarmed about the concern with impact to Medicaid funding and with concerns about the drain of voucher programs. So we recognize, though, that it's not always about what happens to us. It's about what we do with what happens to us. Yes? So we know that we have work to do to continue to thrive in a very difficult and challenging environment. So we use this word, here it is again, A together. With all that was going on in our country last summer, we thought it was a great year to invent our own word and to invent our own concept. And the idea of A together is that regardless of what was happening out there, we would join hands, A together, in Ann Arbor Public Schools to care about our children. And that the best metric of our work is the metric sitting at your tables tonight, our very own children. And if there was one thing that this country should be able to agree on, it should be supporting our children. Wouldn't you say yes, amen to that? Yes, absolutely. And we knew that our measure of success would be in how well our children are doing. So we've repeated that A together mantra all year long, personally and collectively, in taking the action that we truly needed to do to reverse deportation action. The last one we faced, I'm so proud of all of you that worked on that. The last one we faced, the judge said, I'm changing my action because there are so many children outside on the sidewalk. Those were our kids. Aren't you proud of that? Yes, yes, yes. And because of that, 3 of our children have their father still at home working as he has been doing for the past 19 years here in Ann Arbor. So we decided that we would all use this mantra for our 2016-17 year, that we would be together on behalf of every child, that we know we are so fortunate to be here in Ann Arbor, and that we're all together in facing our challenges. We're all together in resisting any force that would marginalize any among us. We are all together in lifting the children and lifting each other above the negative narrative. We're all committed to equity and opportunity for every child. And we know that, as Gwendolyn Brooks says in her poem, they are all our children. Wouldn't you agree? And they are counting on us to get this right. And I would say by the class of the 2017 that we've seen tonight, we're getting something right, aren't we? So our story of welcome and embrace and celebration and achievement and success for every child, that's our Ann Arbor Public Schools story. It's written together by all of you and by all of our teammates back in the schools. We are all together for children. We are all together for each other. We are, will you say it? We are. There you go. We are A together. So I want to thank you for being a part of this annual report. I want to thank our students and our parents and our community and our amazing Ann Arbor teachers and leaders and team. Our benediction this evening is coming, as it should, from the students. So will you join me in this last piece? And I thank you so much for the opportunity to serve the Ann Arbor Public Schools. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you for caring.
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 Thank you for caring. Thank you for caring.
Thank you for caring.
Thank you for caring.
Thank you for caring.
Thank you for caring.
Thank
you for caring.
Thank you for caring.
Thank you for caring.
Thank you. And I didn't mention it, but that award, that video also won a national award this year, Mr. Andrew Cluley and his team. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you and have a great evening. Thank you so much.